This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Rachel Casella standing by. Caller 9844999. Ola will play Profile this in minutes. And we do have your headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, quick check into Mike Hawk for some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, China's 8.5-ton space station is falling out of orbit and could land somewhere in Michigan around April 3rd. But there's a bunch of other places in the world that it could fall to. Scientists should have a better idea of the location in the next few weeks, which is amazing to me.
What do you mean?
That they know it's going to fall out of orbit, and they should know, in a few weeks where it's going to land, yet we don't have time to do anything about it.
Well, I mean, it's just the Earth keeps spinning. You know it's going to fall out of orbit, but you don't know exactly where in the rotation the Earth is when it falls out of the sky, and you're not sure how long it's going to take to get down. That said, Mike, when Miles and I were younger, Skylab came falling out of the sky.
Right.
Same scenario. Mm-hmm. And just keep in mind, technology wasn't as good then as it is now, but they kept trying to make predictions where it would land. And in the end, they weren't even remotely right, but there's a point where, as best I could tell, it was going to crash roughly in my backyard, right, within 20 miles of that. Then it was going to crash somewhere in Quebec. Then it was going to crash somewhere in India. Then it was going to crash somewhere in Texas. In the end, I believe it slammed into the ocean.
Jeez.
But I mean, they honestly,
It was a big-ass thing, though.
they didn't know where it crashed until almost like a week after it crashed. To put it in perspective.
They lost it?
Well, they said, like, look, at some point it kind of burns off a radar. They're like, look, it didn't crash into anything we thought it might. We don't know where it is. And they found, honestly.
Wait for the news.
Yeah.
They had the biggest meteorite in 25 years just basically landed in the ocean the other day, and nobody even knew it happened unless you lived in the area and you saw the giant flash.
Right.
So,
Two moms in Jacksonville, Florida got into a fight at a Little League practice.
Oh, come on.
Because one of them was wearing short shorts and the other thought it was inappropriate.
Oh, come on.
I'm just wondering, was she allowed to wear short shorts?
Man, look, my kid it was T-ball last year. If a woman showed up in short shorts, I would notice, and I might look, but kids that young don't care.
Right. Exactly.
So wear your short shorts.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't decide. I read the story too, and it's like,
I mean, how short were
all right, so
they?
that was my two questions. Were they that short that this mom said something, or it was just they were short and the other mom was jealous?
I think it's put it this way: if you can't see butt cheeks, I think you're fine.
And it might have been a mixture of both there, Ted.
Yeah, like could you see the pockets in the back?
this girl isn't ugly.
Oh no, she's not ugly.
No.
She's not ugly.
Right. Any other mother?
She's wearing short shorts.
That's right. The one that beat her up is.
She is not ugly.
I still stand by jean shorts.
Yeah.
Solid fashion.
A man in Florida who imports monkeys for medical research recently sent his own mother an angry letter filled with white powder.
Jesus
It
Christ!
turns out he was trying to make it look like an animal rights group was harassing him.
Okay.
I don't know why.
What is the benefit of that?
Right?
Call attention to the thing you're doing that no one knew you were doing.
That
So
could
they
be
can
about
mad?
anyway, right.
Just so he could justify his hatred of him. I don't know.
And the first question on that mom's mind is, where did I go wrong? You know what I
Why
mean?
did you send me powder?
You ask yourself, like, your kids give you occasion to ask yourself that question, just different things you hear or different things you see them do. But I would like to think my kids would not send me the threatening letter. Like, I would say, where did I go wrong if they send it to anybody? But I wouldn't think it would come to me from them.
Right. A 70-year-old woman in Utah who tried to hire a hitman to kill her ex-husband, then tried again from jail, was just charged for trying a third time.
She just doesn't get it.
That's right. At some point.
No, she's stick-to-itive.
And she's in
She
her
knows
70s.
what she wants. She wants this guy dead.
Oh, yeah.
She's a woman who knows what she wants.
How much do you think she's paying at this point?
Well, it's the third time around, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would guess.
And she keeps getting
15
caught,
to
right?
30.
Right.
Yeah.
What does this guy keep thinking? He's got to be thinking about, this is the third different...
Like, what
honest
did
to
I
God,
do?
Like, seriously.
You're in jail.
I shook the first one off. Like you came in the house, I shook him off with the right side, I ran out of the house, called the cops. Second time I was on vacation, they tried to poison me with like a dart to the neck. Third time, like
Miss me and hit the waiter.
That's what I'm saying. God damn.
Do you-
I think after a while,
Okay,
come
do you
on,
not-
game over.
Right.
Do you
Or
go
she's
to
not offering enough, and people keep turning her in.
That's got to be what it is, man. Because I
Like, you
don't.
don't-
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she looks at it like the punch bug game. It never ends. You know, like, no, it definitively ends.
Or does she ever actually hire him? Does she just go onto Craigslist looking for hitman, and that just kind of comes up on somebody's radar? She doesn't necessarily actually hire somebody.
Well, there's also, if you make a phone call from prison, just assume that it's being monitored.
yes.
I have never
Exactly.
met a hitman in my life, but I don't.
Not that you know of.
I don't. Right. I don't really think they're answering ads like looking for a hitman,
Right.
No, it's a
Looking for
cleaner,
hitman?
Ted.
I'm the guy.
a cleaner.
Looking for a cleaner.
Yeah.
A 28-year-old man
Says
with
the guy that runs Pet Solutions.
A 28-year-old man with a knife tried to sneak into a jail in Los Angeles using a fake FBI badge. But they arrested him instead and booked him into the same jail he was trying to sneak into. So overall, I think he kind of accomplished his mission.
He really did. He really,
Without his
really
knife.
did.
Was he
But-
going in there to kill an inmate?
He had a knife. I'm not working on it.
Maybe he was a hitman that I tried to hire.
That's right.
It just seems weird to break into jail with a weapon.
And then why would you think cops are not going to notice a fake badge?
Right.
Like, don't go to people that carry badges for a living and then try to pass a fake badge.
Well, even then, you're an FBI agent and you've got a knife. Where's your gun?
Right.
That's a good point.
A new study found that when employees jammed needles into voodoo dolls of their bosses, it actually made them feel less resentful about their jobs.
I can vouch for that.
And the quality of their
Christ.
work went up.
Hey,
This is ridiculous.
It doesn't stop at co-workers.
Right?
Yeah, Mike,
Well,
you have any weird pains in your back
if
over
you
the
have
weekend?
one
I do,
Kind.
man. Thursdays, I got a little bit of a lower back pain.
Okay, that was the day I was stabbing your
One
ass.
associates you can just punch in the face anytime you're mad. It'll make you feel better.
Isn't that what it is? People go to the gym to
God,
get to
yeah.
relieve stress.
I love
People
kick-
go fishing.
I love kickboxing. No, you really just want to punch somebody in the face.
Right.
You're visualizing it like 70 times in a half an hour period.
You need to get your violence out.
That's right.
Stress is
I
contagious.
kind of like this rule, though.
Voodoo
around
dolls?
the office, like once a year, you get one punch.
You just knock him out.
Oh, I thought you meant the voodoo doll.
No, just to like
Right. Feels so
anybody
much
in the
better.
office, right? It could be
It feels so much better.
right. It could be a coworker, it could be the boss.
But it's
You
once
get-
a year?
Once a year, you get one punch.
You
Then
get
I have
that
to hold
office
some
purge day?
grudges. Like, man, I want to punch this person right now, but I don't know how the rest of the week's going to shake out. But
Yeah,
I'll
you gotta be
remember you.
careful.
Right.
You throw your punch in January.
Now, Ted,
They
is it
leave
a,
and they get fired in February. They leave. You
Ted,
blow
is it a set day, or do you just kind of get to pick one? Everybody gets one.
I think everyone gets one.
Right?
And then if it happens twice in a year, you go to HR. But one punch a year, fine.
You stepped above your punch quota for the year?
Yeah. See, I'm just imagining somebody in our office like Leah just going nuts and walking over to somebody's desk and flipping it.
Well, that one
Of all people?
you still get one punch.
Right? Exactly.
but
She's
you can't
quiet.
flip my
She's got some
desk.
pent up anger,
Yeah,
man.
but I can punch her then. She flipped over my desk, I can punch her. I can't punch anyone else
Yeah,
for
we're
a
going to
year.
move on.
Yeah.
Says stress is contagious according to a new study. So if you're spending time with people who are stressed, it's going to mess with your brain and make you more stressed out too.
Yeah, people who are angry, they're going to piss you off.
Exactly.
People who are sad are going to make you sad. People who are happy, you're going to have a good time around.
No, sad people make me laugh. Yeah.
Keep crying, bitch.
When you're at a restaurant, do you wait for everyone's food to come out before you start eating, or do you just dive right in?
Well, you should
You
wait.
should wait.
You should wait, period.
Okay, I know what you
No,
should
he
do,
didn't
guys,
say
but
that.
what are you
He
doing?
said, what do you do?
You should wait.
I wait unless somebody goes, you don't have to wait for me.
All right, Miles,
I wait.
Thrill.
Depends what I order.
I'm not in a hurry.
No, if it's
I'm
like
not-
nachos, I'm going to eat.
Sure.
If it's
If
a
I'm-
plate of food, I'll wait.
if I need to go, I'll get it to go.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I need to be someplace, that's rare. Normally I'll get there a little bit.
1 out of 6 people say no, they start eating as soon as their food comes out. 1 out of 6.
That's why you get an appetizer and everybody can split. That way people
Right.
can just chill the hell out.
That's why you get those nachos that he was talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly.
See?
A graphic video is making the rounds online of what disturbing object doctors used as a pillow for their patient.
What was that?
I'll tell you all about it 1 hour from now.
Thank you, Mike Hawk. Headlines are on the way 1 hour from now. First, the game is
The Men's Room presents Profile
And
This.
Steven Throw-Hill, can you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Nora. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. All right, Nora, you understand how this here game is played.
Yes.
Please stop speaking so much. It's annoying. All right, here's your story. An employee at a meat and poultry company, he's been arrested, accused of stealing $10,000 worth of chicken wings and other meat from the company. The larceny happened at the County Distributors in South Windsor, Connecticut. The owner of the business reviewed surveillance footage from his warehouse, and he noted that an employee had taken products from the warehouse, loaded them into a vehicle, all while there were no sales transactions. When police investigated, they found that the guy had done this on several occasions, and the total loss estimated in excess of $10,000, again, worth of chicken wings and other meat. Now, police obtained a warrant. They charged him with larceny in the first degree, and he has a court date coming up. Do you believe that this enterprising meat thief is black, white, Mexi, or Asian?
And this is in Connecticut?
Yes. I'll get the name of the city again. South Windsor, Connecticut.
I don't know nothing about the East Coast.
It's east of here.
What would be predominantly in Connecticut as far as...
It depends where you go. I mean, you're going to find, well, black, white, Mexican, Jew for sure. Absolutely. But it depends where in Connecticut you go. You'll probably find more numbers.
Insurance, banking, ESPN. That's what they've got.
But it's also a broke-ass place as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
And they were stealing meat.
He was stealing meat.
Chicken wings. I mean, who likes chicken wings? Well, pretty much everybody, but
Yeah.
not to be stereotypical, but
Well, that's how the game works.
yeah, I guess that is true. Chicken wings, I think I think of black folks. I've been around and have children that are half black.
And all they do is eat chicken wings.
No, they'll eat half the chicken wings.
They just grab for the wings. I'm like, damn it, you half black child, give me that side. See,
That was very nice.
exactly. Like, I mean,
It's very nice when he
yeah,
stepped
I mean,
around
Come
it.
on, man. Well, Nora, do you want to keep that as your final answer?
The argument for that is I could see it being a black person, but then being in Connecticut, I could see it being a white person too. So
Did they only steal chicken wings?
No,
And other
meat.
meat, but they keep every time you read what they stole, they start with chicken wings predominantly.
All right.
And then it says, and other meat.
Nora, we're going to need a final answer here. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna go white.
White final answer. Okay. We're going to find out if this meat thiefin was black, white, Mexican, or Asian next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Profile this takes us to South Windsor, Connecticut, and a guy who was working at a meat and poultry company and really did like his meat, chicken wings in particular, but all kinds of other cutlets and various steaks, I'm sure, probably hamburgers, maybe some lobster, who knows. Either way, to the tune of $10,000 worth of meat before he was busted. And I guess black, white, Mexican, or Asian were your choices.
That is correct. And Nora, you hemmed and hawed at first and said, hey, man, I don't want to sound stereotypical, but I think chicken wings, I'm thinking black people. Even those half-black kids that are stealing Miles' chicken wings. But in the end, you went white. Sorry. Nora, you should have stuck with your gut. The guy was black.
Oh, no.
You were right there. Like, you don't want to sound like you're being racist. You're not trying to sound like a stereotype, but you were correct. There's a reason why when you read the story, because I wasn't doing it, but in the story, they keep mentioning chicken wings, ... and other meat. That 3 times in the story.
Chicken wings.
It's not just that he stole, but every time they mention what he stole, it's
You were tracking
chicken
there, Nora.
wings
You were tracking.
and other meat.
So close. Now for all TV news all the time for TV Time with Tim.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box,
Armageddon!
The Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
You ever work a really long time preparing for something, and then when you go to do it, it just doesn't work out as well as you had hoped?
Barbecue.
All the time.
Smoking meat. Yes.
Life.
Yeah, like there's just a ton of stuff, right? You could plan for it, you could practice. Well, now let's focus on something you've practiced for a bunch. Did you ever have a sport you played as a kid? Maybe you practiced all the time, but you just weren't good at it.
Visualize. Yeah, most of them.
Yeah, like for me, it's basketball.
Come on, man.
Yeah, like I'm just
I mean,
terrible
I hate
at
to
it.
be the
Skiing.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But so you could practice stuff and still be bad at it. So when you watch the dog shows, right?
Oh, yeah.
The dogs do all the the correct things.
Jump to the hoops, go through the right path.
Right, so they got to jump over some hurdles, if you will. Generally, they got to kind of snake through. What do you call that?
I don't know, it's like a maze.
There must be different names
Like
for all these courses and stuff like that. Like, you know, like
Yeah, and then
we
they have
just
the
watch
big-
the Olympics. They
Well,
probably
I'm
have
sure
names
there
for
are
this, like-
because some are the
Well,
big
the slalom. You got to slalom
like the
through
yard
sticks.
course.
Right, because there's some
Right.
that's just perimeter. You kind of run right. Then there's the one where you're snaking
Well, they should
around.
just have him like being chased by a pit bull.
Yeah, and it's right. Sometimes you got to run through these little tunnels and stuff. So you've seen these dog show competitions.
Absolutely.
This one comes to us from jolly old England.
Hey,
As you can tell by the announcer's voice here, this dog does not really stay on the course.
He's a crossbreed of all sorts, and he hasn't a clue what he's doing, has he? Can we get him into the weed? I shouldn't think so for a second. No, we can't. No, I'm not going in there. I'm not doing it. Oh, this is... He's stuck. Hey, I love it. There's no room for him to turn around in there. How did he do that? That's brilliant. He jumps these jumps at full height. If you can keep him on the course, he couldn't care less, could he?
So that video's up on the Bedroom Facebook page. Have you seen that video yet?
No.
All right. So it's kind of funny. At one point, he comes out, right, and he makes a couple of the jumps. But then he legit just goes over to, like, people that are working there that are just sitting there. And they like, put their hands back, like, no. Like, not, you know, like just, like, I don't know if they want to mess with the competition. And then literally when you hear the English guy go, I don't know how he turned around in there. It's because it's one of those tunnels. He's a bigger dog, and he runs in. And he just comes back out.
Doesn't even look like the tunnel moved. He just did it without touching the ends.
And he's just kind of looking like, hey, I'm back out of the tunnel now.
let me guess, crowd favorites.
Crowd favorite. I think.
And loser.
To the ladies' defense, the woman's defense with this dog, he seems like a very nice animal. I guess he's a service dog of sorts, so he likes people. It seemed like they had worked really hard, but after a while, she just kind of gives up on it.
You do hear the highfalutin world of the dog bred world, where the first thing the guy says is just like, "Oh, just such a dumb crossbreed."
Yeah, a crossbreed.
Like, you know, like it's not even a pure inbred breed. Like most of these animals are really just having sex with a family. Members,
Right.
You know? That's what we prefer. But no, this one went to a different town and had sex with someone he wasn't related to.
Scandalous.
It really is. So
Vision
they're going to
Quest.
cover him in jam and put him on a biscuit. Like,
Frankly, that's the kind of dog I would rather eat
Could
than
you
watch.
imagine having sex with someone below your poverty level? That's what they did.
Had sex with some random bitch in an alley.
Some poor, some peasant just had
Some
sex.
bitch in heat.
Yes.
Who
like a-
stink.
It's raining like a Sherlock Holmes novel. Thrown up against a dumpster.
I will say this. Sometimes, no matter what day people have bad days going on, you want to be in a good mood. Watch how happy that dog is screwing up that course.
Play the beginning of that again, Rob. Where he's just a nasty crossbreed thing. Look at him.
He's a crossbreed of all sorts, and he hasn't a clue what he's doing, has he?
Does he? Just a
Can
dumb
we
old
get him into the
crossbreed.
weed?
How stupid.
He bred with other dogs that know nothing.
You have sex with your family. You're brilliant.
Like that six-toed dog over there.
Right. Look at him go.
And the one dog that meows.
He doesn't have any neurological problems at all.
So, from good, happy news, we'll go to terrible news.
Okay.
O.J.
Cool, Ted.
Simpson.
O.J. Simpson just stepped in it.
Well,
No,
12
he
years.
didn't.
12 years ago. That's all forgiven.
yeah. Well, right. It was 1994 when he committed the murders. I feel
No,
confident.
Ted, he was found innocent
Yes, found innocent in a court of law. So
by the dumbest people on earth.
here's kind of the story. Here is that O.J. years ago had wrote a book called "If I Did It." Right. You got to remember, O.J. Simpson lost the
Civil trial.
no, he lost the criminal
Right,
trial.
lost the
Won the
criminal,
criminal trial, lost the civil trial. You're
Right,
correct.
right.
You're
Okay.
correct. Sorry.
I thought he. Oh, yeah.
Right. So he was found not guilty in the criminal trial, which by double jeopardy, as they said at the beginning of this show, like he cannot be tried again, which he never was. But obviously, I think Nevada helped and said, hey, we'll lock him up for this,
Yeah.
the other stuff. So he can't be tried again in criminal law for killing those people, right? Now, he was convicted in the civil case. So when the book was about to come out, Ron Goldman's family said, hey, like we get all the money and everything because that's ours. Because you still owe us. So the book never came out. But when he thought the book was going to come out, he did an interview with Judith Reagan, who was the publisher of that book. And they didn't even put this in the show. But here's a kind of chilling story she told about meeting with him and why he wanted to do the show.
Walk me through how you got the interview and what were the ground rules for this interview.
Well, I received a phone call from an attorney who said that O.J. was ready to confess. And actually, I thought it was some kind of a scam and didn't believe him. And I thought this guy's a lunatic. But I took his number and said I'd call him back. And the next day I called him back, and he said he was willing to do it. And the only condition that he had was that he didn't want to call the book I Did It. He wanted to put an if in front of it so that he would have deniability with his children. That was his only condition.
Yeah, your kids are that stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Chloe doesn't think he did it.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, man. I watched some of the special. O.J. Simpson, I mean, you figure if you're going to kill your wife and another dude, you're already kind of a piece of crap. But watching that show, it's amazing. Like, he still blames her for so much stuff, right? Even audio tapes of, and sadly, this goes on in a lot of abusive relationships, right? But he still, you could hear tapes of him ranting and raving at nighttime, right? And he's like, well, that's because she was having guys over.
Weren't they not together?
They weren't. And he's like, I just want to protect my kids. But this is just, it's just amazing to me, even when you see that story, like, you know it. But watching him sit there and just be so kind of arrogant about it and to blame that woman, I was just like, God, I mean, this guy is
and then
like
getting
the
ramped
worst.
up when he get ramped up, and then nervously laughing when he laughed, and like you could see, like
he's not nervous. He's laughing because it's funny to him.
It looked well. There was times where he had looks on his face, is like, wow, that's really cynical. Like he just looked cynical for a second. Then he looked normal, and then you look at his eyes and his facial expressions and go like, oh man, he just flipped into a different mode. You know what I mean? Like as far as
he's going back to his killer
right,
mode.
exactly where he was.
Yeah. I mean, look, like I said, man, we played some audio last week, and it's just if I did, and he kept setting everything up by saying hypothetically, and then he's recalling the story, and this is what you do when you're recalling a story you're involved in. He started going in first person. And so he said,
I remember the night.
So Chuck came up and told the hypothetical person, and I remember thinking to myself, I don't know what's going on there, but it needs to stop. Like, OJ, you just confessed. You just made a confession.
Yeah. I mean, look, besides, even if you believe O.J. Simpson is innocent, right?
Come on.
Like, you still have to wonder what kind of man would go on national TV and slander a dead woman. It's basically what he does.
And
this entire interview.
And another person involved, too.
Yeah, but he didn't know him enough, so he didn't have enough stuff to slander him with.
He just
killed him.
Right, he spent a lot of time slandering a dead woman.
Right.
Just like, oh, man, it's unbelievable. Actually, I turned it off at one point.
Class act.
Yeah. Well, it was getting a little too heavy. So I watched a show. About drug dealers.
Yeah.
That was the other weird thing that happened to me recently. I started watching this. It
was better than the NCAA selection show.
Started watching the Narcos. All the young kids were telling me about it. And, I binged it. Watched the whole season. In
just like an addict.
3 days. And then I literally at one point said to myself out loud, like, this Narcos show is really violent. And it's like, it's about Pablo Escobar, the Medellin cartel.
You should. Spoiler alert.
Right.
The story of Pablo Escobar.
I thought this was going to end in a Chuck E. Cheese.
Right. There's a certain level of violence involved in that one too. Yeah. But yeah. OJ's just unbelievable. I'm sure too. He's fuming right now. He'll come out and have some crazy comment there. Let's see. Let's hear something fun. Let's hear something funny. Jimmy Fallon always has pretty good stuff here. So what you're going to listen to is tweets about people having superpowers.
Now I thought I'd share some of my favorite if I had a superpower tweets from you guys. Here we go. This first one is from @HalesAnn11. She says, my power would be to clap, and when I separate my hands, a sandwich appears, filling the space between my hands. That's fantastic.
Oh, 3-foot hoagie.
This one's from @AKing443. He says, my superpower would be detecting whether someone is going in for the high five or the fist bump. It's like,
white people.
This one's from @FishAndFish. She says, I'd want the superpower to look into the future when I start any Netflix series and see if I'm satisfied enough at the end that it's worth the time commitment. There we go.
Wow.
That's a superpower.
Doesn't want to know the ending. Just want to know if she's satisfied.
This one's from @BridgePidge22. She says, I want the superpower to always, in one try, turn the shower dial to exactly the right hot.
Pretty solid.
This one's from @GeorgeDarko. He says, my dream power would be the ability to successfully insert USB cables on the first try.
Nope. Flip it.
Flip it.
Reverse it.
And reverse it. This one's from Jamie W. Boggs. He says, my superpower would be never encountering another human being in a public restroom ever. There you go. Those are Tonight Show hashtags. To check out more of our favorites.
Those are all pretty legit.
Yep.
I didn't really think about it. I thought superpowers were like this, the first one, about having sandwiches when you're clapping.
I like that one instantly.
That's ridiculous.
Like, bam.
Right? But they're right. I never thought about that. Like the fist bump or handshake. Like that'd be a good one. Or
it's always a weird thing.
Having an open bathroom.
Or I don't understand why USBs are so hard to put in.
No, they just don't have an arrow on top.
It's not that they're that hard to put in, but you always guess it wrong on the first try.
Yeah.
That seems to be the thing. Like, God damn it. And even though it takes exactly 1/2 of 1 second, that 1/2 of 1 second is an annoying one.
Yeah. I lived in a building once where I don't know how this happened, but the door handles, right? Like, instead of putting the key in vertically, you would put it in horizontally.
All right.
But they're not all the same. So, like, some you would put it in horizontal, like, go right, or some you would have to put it in horizontal and go left.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be annoying.
That is beyond frustrating. Trust me, you can see it in my face. I was just like, oh, come on, man.
You know what frustrates me? The doors that we have, not just to our studio specifically, but to walk into the cluster of stations, right? So it's 2 sets of double doors.
Yeah.
And I don't know why this is, but it just irritates me. One of them you push in, the other one you pull out, right?
Just always go to the inside, dude.
Yeah, I know, but when we first moved into the building, it's like I walked into these glass doors constantly.
It's like the new Apple headquarters.
Oh, yeah, and people are walking into the...
It's happening a lot. James Corden has thought of that, too.
Boom, segue.
Apple's new futuristic headquarters, Apple Park, is having some problems. The building is filled with so much clear glass that employees have reportedly been walking into glass walls. I guess Apple shouldn't have installed windows. Thank you, Coach, please. Come on.
That was good.
That was a
multi-level one.
Yeah,
I like that.
By the way, real quick, people are letting us know the USB logo always goes up.
All right.
That's a comment that came in. They're just letting us know, man.
What goes down?
I don't know. I was, yeah.
USD logo.
Well, I was going to say brown like poo. Always goes down.
Sure.
That's one way to remember.
I'm just saying.
But
like,
hey, whatever works.
Vertically,
man.
it drops out of your body and then goes into a toilet once again. Oh man. Here's a fun argument that I'm amazed people are still having. I like the way they write this. It's official. America's divided on everything. It's been over 20 years, but now there's a verdict. A big part of Friends was the relationship between Ross and Rachel. Mm-hmm. Robin, I like the look in your eye. I can't tell if you're mad or you're serious. Yeah. Well, apparently, again, this has been over 20 years since this show has been on. According to a new survey, 49% of Americans think Ross was wrong when he slept with Chloe because him and Rachel were on a break.
I don't even know who Chloe is.
I don't even know what this is.
She was a small character that he had sex with.
She worked at the copier shop, and they were on a break.
If you're on a break.
But you don't know you're on a break till you get back together. So, because most people call it, we're broken up.
Right, but they didn't. They said on a break.
Yeah, but nobody means that. That's like saying we're going to stay friends. Like, come on, obviously I'm lying.
Yeah,
different times.
McDonald's knew what they were talking about. They said, have a break today.
Yeah. That meant have sex.
Exactly.
All right,
go get an Egg McMuffin.
I think deep down, this has nothing to do with Friends or Ross and Rachel.
This is people's stance on taking a break.
Right. I think a lot of people have had this.
Yeah, like, I'm going to have sex when I'm not with you.
Yeah. Yeah. 31% said sex with someone else during a break is acceptable.
You took a break. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, men were touring the most. 39% said it was acceptable. 39% said it wasn't. 22%, these are the guys I respect, said, I don't know.
I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Well played.
Label it how you like.
Yeah, I think that stuff always just depends on what side of it you're on.
Right.
But, right.
You know, I think you're 100% correct on that.
Yeah.
If you both
if you're on the
had
side
sex
that
with
didn't get
someone
laid,
else,
you're like, oh, we were on a break.
That's crap.
What do you mean you were having sex with him?
I just when I saw this, I was like, you gotta kid me, man, 20 years.
Ross, my God.
It just,
there's no other example of this.
Not to mention, honestly, like they were one of the most annoying couples of all time on TV. But it's like a massive thing. Like, did they get back together?
I would
like,
be
to
more,
this day, I'm like, who cares? You should have been with Joey.
I would be more curious if any of these people actually had sex in real life.
On the Friends
you
cast?
mean like the actors?
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody threw
because that's
some-
kind of like really having sex, which is really what I'm actually interested in, not the hypothetical. Like I could live in this fictional world, like I slept with half the office, but it's not true. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
I want to
look,
know,
at
like,
the
did
end
you
of
really
the day,
sleep with them?
That was the most ridiculous thing to me about Friends, right? Like on like on Friends, they all hooked up with each other, and then they were all still like super tight
Right.
friends. Like that's the lie y'all were perpetrating,
Right?
Because everyone on Friends knew what everyone else's nipples looked like. Right? Everyone on that show knew what everyone's butt looked like.
Pepperoni Pete over there,
Right.
Oh, Pepperoni Pete.
Everybody
Pete's
on
got-
that show know who else had the treasure
What do you
trail.
call them meat cups? What do you call them
Meat
ramen?
cups.
Little tiny meat cups. Pepperoni Pete had little tiny meat cups.
Got little grease
Filled with
catches.
little pool of delicious.
Rachel had the biggest nipples I ever seen.
Thick cut.
Call her salami. We've got your thing.
Salami nips.
New headlines coming up with Mike Hawk. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Oregon daycare provider gets 21 years after drugging kids so she could go to CrossFit and then go tan. Meanwhile, a hospital who used patients' amputated leg for a pillow. Surely in the future, we'll come up with a different plan. Zoo in England put 60 different mammals on birth control pill. A college course to focus on calling out people whose BS they want to spill. And England says Russians poisoned a spy. Or as we say, no collusion. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
All right, our top story. A graphic video is making the rounds online of what disturbing object doctors used as a pillow for their patient. The man in the video was a recent amputee patient that went into surgery after being involved in a school bus accident, and he needed his foot removed. The video shows the man stirring on a hospital bed with his head propped up on his severed foot.
Oh, yeah.
Authorities have launched an investigation as to why doctors felt the need to use his foot as a pillow. Ted, have you seen this picture?
No.
It's bad, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's his foot. Yeah, it's exactly what you think.
Did they just have like zero pillows anywhere in this hospital?
They had a foot.
They had his foot. Yeah,
I'm wondering, does he have to be propped up that badly?
You know what?
He
must
maybe
because I would think as the patient, when I realize that my cold dead foot is behind my head, and granted I'm bald, so maybe it's a little different for my sensory, but I would not be resting my head on my foot. Even if that's what they gave me, eventually it's sitting beside the bed. It's not. That is disturbing.
I would rather work my abs just like holding that position up as opposed to laying down.
Yeah, but you're
on my
always
bloody
working
Okay,
your
but
abs.
wait. Would you lay on someone else's foot?
Yes.
Okay. That's fair enough. Like, I'll lay on someone else's foot. I don't want to lay on mine.
I don't want to
weird.
lay on somebody else's foot. That's gross.
As long as I clean it first. Get the jam out from in between the toes. Around the world in Bend, Oregon, a daycare worker was hit with a 21-year prison sentence for her methods during nap time. Parents were alerted to the one rule of the center that says you cannot pick up your children between the hours of 11 and 2, which they deemed nap time. Little did parents know that was because the worker was drugging the children with melatonin and leaving them to go tanning and go to CrossFit. It was
You
also
say that like it's bad.
She had two ex-boyfriends collude to turn her in.
I was about to say.
Oh yeah, I mean these are not people like, hey man, like this is really messed up. Like
Right.
what
Yeah,
she's
it's
doing
really
is
messed up.
really messed up. That's why it was 21 years.
Right. It was also
That's a
later
long
found out
time.
that-
Farmer Bro went 7.
Right.
It was later found out that the daycare itself was an illegal operation, being that she was not a registered nurse, even though she told parents otherwise. Police were alerted to her nap time methods by her ex-boyfriend and her ex-roommate.
Yeah, and the reason you need a registered nurse sometimes in daycare is because you have a child that needs to have a registered nurse present because physically they might have an issue.
Things go wrong.
Right.
I'm just wondering,
Normally from a birth defect.
was it that these two ex-boyfriends really thought that what she was doing was that bad, or
Yes.
did she really
Yes.
hurt him?
No, yes.
No, I think
This
they
is-
think it's that bad. I mean, look, man,
I think they went along with it for a while, man.
they obviously had to. It's not like she told them both on the same day and instantly they did it. So obviously they went
Right.
along with it for a bit, but
Hey man, this is messed up.
it finally got to them like, you know what, man, this is. I guess it's more like this. Wait, she's still doing that? I think that's probably how their conversation went.
I don't buy it.
You think they just did it because they don't like her?
Right. I think they colluded after they found out that she was sleeping with both of them.
All right, let me ask you this. Does it matter?
No, not at all.
If
It's
I'm
a
one of
terrible
the
thing that
parents, like,
happened.
I don't care why you turned her ass in.
Right.
I don't care if it's because you call her Madam Brownfinger. Like, man, whatever.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
A community college in Maryland is making history by making the first class in a subject that people are saying we need more of in schools. The class is called, quote, Calling Out BS, the Art of Deceptive Misrepresentation.
Yeah, like being Anne Arundel Community College. That's deception.
Is it?
Yes.
I've never heard of Anne Arundel Community College. Is it that bad?
No, it's just deception. I mean, all right, it's fine. They're fine. Their Glen Burnie campus is beautiful. Kind of borders on Pasadena.
There was some venom there, Miles.
You got no love for the JUCOs?
That would be kind of like me. I make.
Damn.
No, it's not that. I make great ketchup when I smash tomatoes with my feet. Okay.
All right.
That's fantastic. I don't make ketchup.
The thoughts behind the course are that society has become oversaturated with BS throughout all forms of societal engagement. They want to stress that this is not a poli-sci class, nor an anti-Trump course, or an anti-lying course. They believe that democracy has relied on critical thinking, and this course is an attempt to fight back against those that are spreading untruths.
Democracy absolutely relies on critical thinking. But
Right.
listen, that's up to people.
And unfortunately, it's kind of become who can out-BS each other.
Well, I think it's just more of this, man. BS is a lot more infectious when people can't control their emotions and everything's done ideologically. Mm-hmm. If you follow conclusive things, if you took correlation and understand what that means, people would make different decisions, even if it flies in the face of what you ethically might think is correct. Because the thing is, your opinion is truly just that. And right now, in this country, for whatever reason, we've decided you're on one side or the other, even though if you're a thinking person, you don't belong to either side. Let's call it independent. Toughen up, do that. That's one. Right? I mean, sorry.
If you teach philosophy, it takes care of that.
But then use your critical thinking, and you'll make more rational decisions. Because most people agree that they want a better life and they want to be healthy. So the fact that people agree on this as a motivation brought on by your biological need to continue to exist, the fact that we have the problems we have is because people want to be petty.
Exactly.
Period.
A tuberculosis-infected badger has caused a zoo in England to do something. We're just going to move on. Has caused a zoo in England to do something this reporter never considered to be a thing.
What's that?
11 antelopes at the zoo were found to be infected with TB, which prompted the zoo to take drastic measures and put 60 mammal species on birth control in order to prevent overcrowding during the quarantine of the zoo.
Do you know how hard it is for a badger to put on a condom?
You don't have any beautiful
It took
blonde hair.
him 45 minutes. He went limp before he even could finish. It's ridiculous.
I heard the badger was moving to Tombstone.
Come on, Appleton, take him in.
God. Government rules say that none of the animals can be transferred from the zoo until the end of the year in order to prevent the spread of the disease. Yes.
That's uplifting.
That's it for your headlines with that. Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the Drunken Charge. Ryan Castle in to sit and spin the return of the word. Profile this, and we will drink and toast again with the shot of the day.
Yes, indeed. It is all true. In the meantime, we be all about this bitch. Until tomorrow, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.